We have a new lens to show you. We're very fortunate to have one of the first in our hands of the new OM system 50 to 200mm F2.8 IS Pro Lens in our hands today. All right, should we do a little talk about this lens? Hello, this is Mike from Mike's Camera, and I am here today to introduce a new revolutionary product that goes very nicely with this. This, as you may know, is the OM System OM1 Mark II Micro Four Thirds mirrorless camera. Been on the market for a little while, phenomenal compact mirrorless camera, and to make it even more exciting, they are introducing this. This is a first. This is a brand new 50 to 200mm OM System F2.8 Pro Lens. So we're lucky enough to get the first one. So let's open the box and take a look. So OM System have the 7 to 14, they have the wonderful 12 to 40, they have the 40 to 150, and now we are introducing the next white series lens from OM System, which is their 50 to 200 F2.8. And the first thing I will tell you about it is, I won't say light as a feather, but this is light. Weighing in at just over 2 pounds, this is a phenomenal lens. I was fortunate enough to be able to play with it for the last week. This is a pre-production model. It's the first one out. So I was very excited to get my hands on it before its official release date. But this guy, it's amazing how light this lens is. So 50 to 200 F2.8, what does that mean? So for full frame shooters, that is the equivalent of a 100 to 400mm F2.8 lens. Now imagine, if you will, a 400mm f4 lens for a full frame size camera. It's going to be heavy, and it's going to be 2 to 3 times the size of this guy. This is a 50 to 200, so 100 to 400 equivalent, f2.8, image stabilized all through the range. So let's see how it balances on the OM1 Mark II. It is a very easy setup. It balances perfectly. The lens does come with a lens hood, so you get the white, beautiful white lens hood. It also, on the lens hood, just to point out for those filter lovers, it does come with the slide remover right here. If you're using a circular polarizing filter, you can still adjust the polarization through the slide. The hood is a quick snap lock on, very easy, and reverse mounts for travel as well. So, as I said, this lens is light. I was able to take this on a hike, no tripod, no monopod required. Because of its weight, it is so easy to carry around. 50 to 200, f2.8 through the range, image stabilized, gives you up to 7 stops of handheld stabilization. Now, everyone's familiar, or most people are familiar, with the waterproof ratings on cameras. There's a lot of cameras out there that state waterproof, water resistant, dustproof, scratch, drop proof. OM System went to the extra effort of having their stuff IP rated. So this camera and lens combination is IP53 rated, which means that it is extra dust resistant, it is extra shock resistant, and more importantly, is extra water resistant. Does not mean waterproof, doesn't want to be submerged. However, splashing water on it, being caught out in the rain with it, getting it dropped in the snow, you are going to have no issues with continually shooting with this camera. So when you pair this guy up with their already very wide angle 7 to 14, their 40 to 150 f2.8 lens, and then going on the longer end, their 150 to 600, you have the full range of lens complementary suite for the OM System in what is a beautiful lightweight travel size package. The focusing on it was extremely fast, very quick, very sharp, using the recognition features within the camera, eye recognition, pet recognition, sports, planes, birds. It was able to pinpoint lock on our subjects extremely quickly. The lens does come with a range of settings on it. You can limit or expand your range of focus if you're just working on close-up macro stuff. The close focus ability at 200 on this was incredible. You also can go from autofocus to manual focus. You can turn the image stabilization on and off. And then you also have the preset button on the side of the lens, which you can program for various settings within the camera. So with the complementary suite of lenses from OM System, the other thing with the 50-200 lens that you can do is you can also add their 1.4 or their 2.0 teleconverters to this lens. So now, not only do you have a 50-200, but when you put that 2.0 converter on there, you now have a 100-400 OM System lens. 100-400 is your full frame equivalent of a 200-800mm lens in a light handheld setting, giving you an f5.6 aperture with the 2.0 converter as opposed to the 2.8 without the converter. It's still, you try to get that sort of range, that sort of zoom with any other lens, it's going to be 4 times the size and probably 4 times the weight. I'm blown away with how light it is. The thing that gets me with this lens is light. Oh my goodness, is it light. So I have a 50-200, so that's an equivalent range of a 100-400 f2.8 aperture lens on the OM1 Mark II body. And it's light. I have the sling strap on here. Honestly, I could hand hold this probably all day long. That was the biggest takeaway for me on this lens. I'm excited to get this in stores. It's going to be an extremely good travel lens. Now, OM Systems verticals are very targeted towards nature, wildlife, birding. This adds a new element. Okay, this lens adds the sporting element to the OM system of cameras. So now, for those of you that like to do sports photography in a very compact, lightweight, hand-holdable setup, you have the OM system OM1 Mark II camera body. It also pairs very nicely with the OM5 Mark II that was recently released, and the new, brand new here, the 50-200 F2.8 IS Pro Lens. Honestly, I can't think of a better combination to take out in the field with me for any sort of photography, wildlife, sports, hiking, nature, macro, you name it, you've got it covered with this setup. So that's the new 50-200 F2.8 from OM System. We are going to have it in store very soon. We're excited to get it into your hands and play with it. And you got it, the biggest thing again, the weight. Incredible. You've got to come in and just see how easy it is to handhold and shoot with this combination.